This video brings an urgent message about your neighbor that you need to hear right now. Your neighbor next door has been hiding a shocking secret about you, and it's something that could change everything about how you see your community. This isn't just neighborhood gossip, it's a divine revelation that many people miss every day. What your neighbor did behind your back has been carefully hidden, but the truth is finally coming to light. The message you're about to receive has been arranged to reach you at this exact moment in your spiritual journey. There's a divine appointment happening right now as you watch this video. Don't scroll away, because what you're about to discover about your neighbor's secret actions could transform your entire understanding of the relationships around you. The truth about what they've been doing will surprise you completely. This isn't ordinary neighbor drama or community gossip. It's a divine alert about hidden spiritual activity that's been happening right next to you. Your neighbor has been working behind the scenes in ways you haven't noticed, and their secret actions have been affecting your life more than you realize. Missing this revelation could mean overlooking important spiritual connections that have been placed directly in your path. This discovery marks a limited time opportunity to understand what's really been happening in your neighborhood. The truth about your neighbor's secret has been waiting for the right moment to be revealed. That's why this message found you today. Your attention to this video isn't random. It's a divinely orchestrated moment designed to help you see spiritual activity that's been happening around you, but you might have been completely unaware of. What your neighbor did affects your spiritual journey in ways you never imagined possible. Every intuitive feeling you've had about your neighbor has been noticed. Every strange interaction or unexplained behavior you've witnessed has been acknowledged. All the times you've sensed something different about your neighbor, but couldn't quite put your finger on it, have been recognized. Your discernment about the people around you hasn't gone unnoticed. Those moments when you felt your neighbor was paying unusual attention to you, but you dismissed it as imagination. Jesus saw your awareness. The times when you noticed small kindnesses or strange coincidences involving your neighbor. That sensitivity was valued in heaven. The courage it takes to trust your instincts about people close to you has been deeply appreciated. The questions you've had about your neighbor's behavior, sometimes too awkward to share with others, have all been acknowledged. Neighborhood relationships aren't always what they seem, and spiritual connections aren't always obvious. Jesus understands this challenge, which is why he's making your neighbor's secret so clear you can't possibly miss it. The secret your neighbor has been hiding appears in everyday interactions, but is often overlooked because it seems too ordinary to be spiritually significant. This secret shows up in their timing, when they appear outside exactly when you need encouragement. In their words that somehow address what you've been struggling with privately. It appears in the way they've been praying for you without you knowing. In their small acts of kindness that seemed random, but were actually divinely guided. This secret is uniquely connected to your specific spiritual journey. Something Jesus has orchestrated through your neighbor to impact your life. It relates directly to the prayers you've been praying and the spiritual battles you've been fighting. Jesus chose your neighbor for this secret role because they're positioned perfectly to influence your path in ways only someone living next to you could accomplish. The window to understand this secret won't remain open forever. When you finally see what they've been doing, you'll understand your neighbor's true spiritual role in your life. When you understand your neighbor's secret, many puzzling interactions you've had will suddenly make perfect sense. Unexplained kindnesses, perfect timing of encounters, and conversations that seem to address your exact needs will all connect in a beautiful moment of divine clarity. Jesus has wonderful news for you today. Your spiritual discernment about the people around you is growing stronger, and important connections are becoming visible to you now. The divine has noticed your sensitivity to relationships, and now you've been chosen to see this special revelation. This moment marks something significant in your community relationships. It's a clear indication that your spiritual awareness of people around you is developing every day. Something incredibly meaningful has been unfolding in your neighborhood connections, far deeper than you might have imagined possible. The recognition of your neighbor's secret begins a spiritual awakening that will touch every area of your community life, from your daily interactions to your understanding of how Jesus works through ordinary people around you. There's a wave of heavenly attention surrounding your neighborhood relationships right now. You're becoming more spiritually attuned to people's hidden actions, naturally drawing divine connections into your daily community experience. Recognizing your neighbor's secret brings heightened awareness of Jesus' work through the people living around you. More spiritual insights about community connections will begin flowing to you than ever before. This isn't happening by chance. It's a carefully arranged blessing designed specifically for this season of your spiritual journey. Your prayers about relationships and community matter more than you realize. Your spiritual sensitivity to people around you inspires heaven to reveal deeper connections. Your awareness makes a difference in the spiritual atmosphere of your entire neighborhood. This divine revelation shows that Jesus deeply values your role in your community's spiritual fabric. Each neighborly interaction you've had, even when it seemed ordinary, has been developing your ability to see spiritual activity in relationships. Jesus delights when you finally recognize the spiritual work He's been doing through your neighbor all along. The timing of this revelation about your neighbor is no coincidence. It comes now because you're spiritually ready to understand and respond to it appropriately. This precise moment has been divinely chosen because you've grown in relationship wisdom and spiritual discernment about people around you. Your spiritual eyes are now open enough to see divine connections that might have been invisible to you before. Your heart has expanded through community experiences. Your understanding of how Jesus works through relationships has deepened through various encounters with neighbors and friends. All the relationship challenges you've faced and the community questions you've wrestled with have been preparation for this revelation. Nothing in your neighborhood journey has been wasted. Every interaction has shaped your ability to recognize spiritual activity when it appears. This particular discovery about your neighbor is connected to larger spiritual movements happening in communities right now. Jesus is revealing similar neighbor secrets to those who are spiritually alert and ready to see His work through ordinary people. If you're feeling blessed by this revelation about your neighbor's secret, please consider sending a super thanks of $5, $10, $20, or more to support our channel's mission of sharing these important spiritual insights about relationships. Your generosity helps these divine revelations reach those who desperately need to understand the spiritual connections in their own communities. When you give, you participate in a sacred exchange that allows us to continue creating content that helps people recognize Jesus' work through their neighbors. As you begin to understand your neighbor's secret, new relationship awareness will naturally develop in your life. This clearer vision brings new responsibilities, not just toward your neighbor, but toward everyone in your community who might be missing similar spiritual connections around them. Don't view these responsibilities as burdens, but as sacred opportunities to participate in Jesus' work through relationships. This revelation signals it's time to step into spiritual maturity. In your community connections, finding balance becomes essential during this time of heightened awareness. While processing this discovery about your neighbor, remember to nurture your practical faith through prayer, scripture, and community involvement. These spiritual disciplines have shaped who you are in relationships and will continue to support you as you grow into this expanded role. Jesus is inviting you to become more than just a receiver of neighbor revelations, but a person who helps others recognize divine connections in their own communities too. As you become sensitive to your neighbor's secret spiritual activity, think about how you can help others who are missing similar connections in their own neighborhoods. Your experience shows that Jesus is constantly working through people around us, even when we fail to notice their spiritual significance. Heaven witnesses every moment when someone recognizes divine activity in relationships. Your story of discovering your neighbor's secret brings hope to people feeling isolated in their communities, or wondering if Jesus still works through ordinary people today. Your awareness becomes a light that helps others develop eyes to see spiritual connections all around them. This revelation about your neighbor isn't meant to be private knowledge. It's an invitation to help others experience the same community awareness. Jesus often works through those who have recently discovered spiritual activity in relationships to help awaken others who are still missing divine connections. Your newfound awareness serves as both personal blessing and community ministry opportunity for helping others recognize Jesus' work through their neighbors. As you navigate this new understanding of your neighbor's secret spiritual activity, stay consistently alert to divine connections around you. Jesus reminds you that while discovering one neighbor's secret is wonderful, it's just the beginning of recognizing spiritual activity in all your relationships. Maintain the spiritual sensitivity that allowed you to see this hidden activity in the first place. Guard against returning to surface level awareness that made you miss important spiritual connections in the past. Let your relationship awareness continue to flow from genuine faith and daily attention to Jesus' presence in community. With this new ability to recognize spiritual activity in relationships comes ongoing responsibility to remain watchful for divine connections. Use this gift wisely to discern true spiritual activity from ordinary neighborly interactions. Not every kind gesture is divinely orchestrated, but Jesus will make truly important spiritual connections unmistakable. Embrace this journey of community awareness with both humility and confidence, showing others that recognizing Jesus' work through neighbors comes from staying connected to Him daily through prayer and spiritual practices. Picture a future where you consistently recognize Jesus' work through all the people in your neighborhood. Imagine divine connections appearing in unexpected relationships, spiritual appointments happening through casual encounters, and your understanding of community dynamics expanding beyond anything you've experienced before. Jesus stands with you, encouraging you to embrace this journey of relationship awareness with complete trust. This is truly your moment to experience deeper community connection. Through recognizing His work in ordinary people around you, this marks the beginning of a time when your perception of neighbors, wisdom about relationships, and heart will be more aligned with heaven than ever before. Accept this blessing with gratitude, and remember that you're surrounded by divine support on this journey of community awakening. The path ahead holds countless opportunities to experience Jesus' guidance through connections that will become increasingly clear to your spiritually attuned eyes. What joy awaits as you learn to read the divine language of relationships all around your neighborhood. If this message about your neighbor's secret has awakened something in your spirit, please consider blessing our channel with a super thanks of $5, $10, $20, or whatever amount feels right to you. Your support creates a beautiful spiritual exchange and allows us to continue sharing these divine revelations about relationships with those who need them most. Your generosity helps fund our mission to help others recognize the spiritual activity Jesus is revealing through their neighbors in these important times. If you're ready to acknowledge that you're seeing spiritual connections in your community, type 888 in the comments below as your declaration of relationship awareness. The journey of recognizing divine activity in your relationships continues beyond this revelation about your neighbor. As you step into new community awareness, stay grounded in Scripture and prayer that keeps your relationship discernment sharp and accurate. Every spiritual connection you recognize could be the exact encouragement someone else has been waiting to see in their own neighborhood. Your growing sensitivity to divine activity serves as inspiration for others wondering if Jesus still works through ordinary people today. Move forward with an attentive heart, a watchful mind, and a responsive spirit ready to see spiritual connections everywhere. Create opportunities for others to recognize divine activity. As you enjoy the deeper community awareness coming your way, the spiritual language of relationships and connections has always been part of how Jesus works with those who love Him. By choosing to pay attention to these divine connections, you join a long tradition of faithful communities who have learned to recognize His work in everyone around them. Your neighbor's secret was just the beginning of seeing Jesus' activity throughout your entire community.